Amidst the vast expanse of the ocean, a fleet of nearly 150 ships emerges, their sails fanning proudly with the emblem of the Golden Lion of Spain. As they surge forward with unparalleled ferocity, they bear witness to the formidable might of King Philip II's empire. Their destination? The shores of England, where a single goal binds them together: to unseat Queen Elizabeth I from her throne. In this momentous chapter of history, the stage is set for an epic confrontation that will echo through the annals of time. The late 16th century was a tumultuous era marked by political upheaval and religious strife, where the world's oceans became the battlegrounds for empires and nations striving for supremacy. At the heart of this landscape were two formidable opponents: England, ruled by the astute Queen Elizabeth I, and Spain, governed by the ambitious King Philip II. Once united through the marriage of Philip II of Spain and Mary Tudor, their alliance crumbled following Mary's demise on November 17, 1558. Determined to assert his dominance and eradicate the Protestant threat, King Philip II embarked on a daring plan: the invasion of England with a formidable armada. Yet little did he know, his audacious endeavor would result in one of history's most famous naval battles, the ill-fated Spanish Armada's invasion of England, a monumental defeat that crippled Spain financially, casting a shadow over its economy for years to come. In the 1560s, England and Spain, once close allies, began to drift apart. It all started with King Henry VIII's bold move to break away from the Catholic Church and establish himself as the head of the Church of England. When Queen Elizabeth I took the throne, tensions escalated further. She supported Protestant rebels in the Netherlands who were fighting against Spanish rule. They didn't sit well with King Philip II, who saw his dreams of dominating Europe slip away. But the conflict wasn't just about religion. England had its eye on Spain's vast empire, leading to clashes between English pirates and Spanish ships. Sir Francis Drake even raided the port of Cadiz, burning over 20 Spanish vessels. Meanwhile, Walter Raleigh made two failed attempts to establish an English colony in North America. The tipping point came with the execution of Mary, Queen of Scots, the half-sister of Elizabeth, who was married to King Philip. Seeking to mend relations and perhaps solidify an alliance, Philip proposed marriage to Elizabeth, but to his dismay, she firmly rejected his advances. This rejection served as a catalyst for the next chapter in their fraught relationship and paved the way for the infamous Spanish Armada. In May 1588, after extensive planning and numerous setbacks, the Spanish Armada finally departed from Lisbon, its sails billowing in the wind as it embarked on its historic voyage. Led by the capable Duke of Medina Sidonia, an experienced administrator though relatively inexperienced at sea, the Armada set forth with a grand display of maritime might. Towering line of battleships, their wooden hulls gleaming in the sunlight, formed an imposing sight as they sailed in formation. Accompanying them were a large number of transports and smaller craft, bustling with activity as sailors scurried about their duties. On the bustling decks, the combined force of some 8,000 seamen and potentially as many as 19,000 soldiers prepared for the journey ahead. The air was filled with a sense of anticipation and resolve as the Armada charted its course towards its destination, ready to fulfill its mission with unwavering determination. Meanwhile, across the English Channel, beacons blazed to life as the Armada was spotted off the coast, signaling London and Queen Elizabeth of the looming threat. Legend whispers of Sir Francis Drake's reaction upon hearing news of the approaching Armada while engaged in a game of bowls on Plymouth Hoe. Allegedly, he remarked, "There's plenty of time to finish the game and beat the Spaniards." Yet, historical evidence to support this tale remains elusive. Commanding the English fleet was Charles Howard, 2nd Baron Howard of Effingham, with the renowned Sir Francis Drake serving as his second in command. Despite their numerical disadvantage, with fewer than 100 vessels, the English ships were formidable opponents. Sleeker, swifter, and boasting superior firepower, they were finely tuned war machines ready to defend their homeland. The English placed great reliance on their artillery, equipping their ships with more and heavier guns compared to their Spanish counterparts. This tactical advantage would prove crucial in the impending battle against the Spanish Armada. On July 21, the outnumbered English Navy began bombarding the 7-mile-long line of Spanish ships from a safe distance, using their superior long-range guns. Amidst the battle on July 22, the winds unexpectedly shifted, forcing the English fleet to momentarily retreat to port, a setback in their courageous efforts to fend off the Spanish invasion. But undeterred by this temporary setback, Lord Howard of Effingham's fleet quickly regrouped the next day under the guidance of Francis Drake. With determination etched on their faces, the English ships resumed their pursuit of the Armada as it navigated the perilous waters of the Channel. Sensing an opportunity, the Spaniards exploited the weather advantage near Portland Bill, swiftly turning the tables to launch a counterattack against their pursuers. As tensions mounted on July 27, the Armada reached the strategic anchorage off Calais, where the Spanish eagerly awaited the arrival of their troops. But the English had other plans for the Spaniards. Under the cover of darkness, they launched a daring assault. 8 fire ships laden with tar, gunpowder, and other explosive materials crept towards the unsuspecting Spanish fleet. Caught off guard, the Spaniards hastily severed their anchor cables in a desperate attempt to escape the impending inferno. Frantically maneuvering their ships away from the encroaching flames, the Spanish sailors found themselves engulfed in chaos as fiery tongues licked the night sky, casting an eerie glow upon the water. With the break of dawn, the Battle of Gravelines erupted into a storm of cannon fire and musketry. Despite the brave efforts of both sides, the English, armed with superior tactics and weaponry, gained the upper hand, plunging the Armada into further disarray. By July 29th, despite the daring efforts of the English fleet, the Armada managed to regroup and strengthen its ranks, preparing to press forward with their mission to invade England. As the sun sank beneath the horizon, casting a fiery glove over the tumultuous seas, both sides braced for the imminent clash that would determine the fate of nations. On July 30th, the Armada, now at full strength, thoroughly organized itself for battle. Every ship and sailor stood poised for action, their hearts pounding with anticipation in the shadow of an impending conflict. But as dawn broke on July 31st, the Spanish were met with an unexpected enemy, Mother Nature herself. The relentless southwest winds whipped across the waves, hindering their progress and frustrating their attempts to regroup with their land forces. Amidst the howling gates and crashing waves, Spanish ships struggled to maintain their course at the mercy of the unforgiving elements. Days turned into nights, and the tension between the two fleets reached a fever pitch. Meanwhile, along the rugged shores of Scotland and Ireland, nature's fury continued to wreak havoc on the Spanish fleet. Ships battered by relentless storms found themselves dashed against rocky cliffs, their once proud hulls splintered and broken, a grim testament to the ferocity of the sea. A tragedy struck on September 1st as the ship Barca de Hamburgo succumbed to the fury of a storm near Fair Isle, Scotland. The howling winds and lashing rain painted a scene of chaos and despair as sailors battled in vain against the raging tempest. But this was just the start. As the days turned to weeks, the relentless onslaught of the elements began to really take its toll on the Armada. On September 12th, the once proud ship Trinidad Valenciera met its tragic end. Driven aground near Canogo Bay in Ireland, its shattered hull became a stark reminder of the dangers that awaited those who dared to challenge the might of the sea. As October arrived, only a fraction of the formidable Armada remained, a battered and broken remnant of its former glory. King Philip II was forced to accept the bitter reality of defeat, his dreams of conquest dashed upon the rocky shores of England. Yet, amidst the wreckage of the Armada, England found not only victory, but also the seeds of its future greatness. The failed invasion marked the beginning of a new era for England, one characterized by exploration, colonization, and the eventual rise of the British Empire. As for Spain, the defeat of the Armada was a significant blow to its naval power and global ambitions. The seas, once their domain, now bore witness to England's rise.